Hello, students. Today we will discuss Sayyid Amanuddin's poem, Don't Call Me Indo Anglian. The poet Sayyid Amanuddin does not like to be a mixture of cultures and languages. He does not like a lack of imagination. He dislikes to be an unsuccessful relationship between an Indian and an English. He does not like the use of hyphens and calls them artificial bridges between artificial values in the name of race, religion, and language. He condemns all hyphenated minds whom he calls prejudiced products of the soul, which are not free from ignorance and superstitions, etc. See, I read the poem. No, I don't want to be a hodgepodge of culture, a confusion of language, a nullity of imagination, an abortive affair between an Indo and an Anglo. I hate hyphens, the artificial bridges between artificial values in the name of race, religion, and language. I damn all hyphenated minds, prejudiced offsprings of unenlightened souls. I denounce all labels and label makers. I refuse to be a moon rock specimen, to be analyzed, labeled, and stored, for a curious, gloomy fellow to reanalyze, reclassify me, for shelving me again. So he denounces all labels and label markers. Labels are usually given to the moon rock specimen. He refuses to be like such specimen of moon rock, which are analyzed, classified, and labeled, and then finally stored in the shelves again and again. He does not like the label of Indo Anglian for himself. They call me Indo Anglian. I don't know what they mean. Kaveri flows in my veins, Chamundi hills rise in my mind with stars afloat. Eyes of the goddess smiling on the slain demon. Brindavan fountains sing in my soul. But I am not tied down to my childhood scene. So the poet says that people call him Indo Anglian, but he does not know what they mean by this. He belongs to the South India, and the river Kaveri flows in his veins. His mind is full of happy associations of South India. Chamundi hills on which the stars float arise in his mind. The bright eyes of the goddess Durga, that is Chamundi, are smiling on the demon Mahishasur slain by her. The colorful Vrindavan garden fountains of Mysore fill his soul with music. But I have led languages by their ears. I have twisted creeds to force the truth out. I have burnt candles in the caves of prejudice. I have searched in the oceans of being. I have flown across the universe on the wings of my thought. They call me Indo Anglian, the mistaken, misinformed folk. So the poet is not limited by being tied to the scenes of his childhood. He has mastered languages. He has twisted the system of religious beliefs in order to take out or to know the real truth. He has become enlightened by burning candles in the narrow caves. So you understand how he is an embodiment of his culture. He has moved freely like the waves in the oceans of existence. His thought is free, since he has traversed or traveled the universe on the wings of his thought. The poet says that those people are mistaken and misled who call him Indo Anglian. They call him with a small group of, they class him, in fact, he's, he's grouped with a small group of writers. They shut him in a courtyard and isolate him from the external world and make him cripple or invalid. He would rather like to be grouped with great poets like Kalidas, Kabir, Dante, and Umar Khayyam. He would wander in imagination with Kalidas and Kabir, you know, and then he would undertake a spiritual journey with Dante. See, I read the poem. They call me Indo Anglian, the mistaken, misinformed folk, and class me with a small group of writers, claustering me, crippling me. I would rather roam with Kalidas and Kabir, or go on a spiritual journey with Dante, meditate with Khayyam on the mathematics of existence, or sing with Ghalib the anguish of love, and drown with Lipo kissing the moon's reflection in the river. They call me Indo Anglian. So he would wander with Kabir and Kalidas. He would undertake a spiritual journey with Dante. He would meditate with Umar Khayyam on the mathematics of life and would sing the painful songs of love and separation with Ghalib. He would drown with Lipo, kissing the moon's reflection in the river. Finally, the poet Amanuddin says that although he writes in English, imagines, or dreams in the language of Shakespeare and Keats, yet he is not Anglo, that is English or British. He is a poet and he has lived under various names and has the rich Indian cultural heritage of 5,000 years. So he would prefer to be simply called Amanuddin. So this is a very beautiful poem by Sayyid Amanuddin.